DJ Lazy Eyez. I grew up in Colorado. I'm a Colorado kid all the way around. I grew up in Colorado Springs. I've always grown up listening to hip hop. It's something my older brother got me into, and I've always just been a big fan of hip hop. And I always used to carry a lot of music with me. I kind of got my start as a DJ because in high school, I went to a school dance one time and they didn't have the DJ just didn't show up. So I actually just ran out to my car, grabbed all the CDs I had. I played the music for that night and I did a good job, and so they kind of asked me to be the DJ from then on. And so I slowly just started learning just kind of how to be a DJ because I was just always a big fan of music. And then once I got to college is kind of when I really started to learn more about DJing and hip hop. It was really through bass mentalism, Radio 1190, and just meeting a lot of the hip hop DJs around town. Shout out to like all the bass mentalism DJs, Crunk Brothers, people like DJ Vajra. Those guys really just kind of taught me, and I learned a lot from those guys. And from there, just really learned what it takes and what it means to be a hip hop DJ. I'm a hip hop DJ first and foremost. I'm a huge advocate for turntablism. I love scratching, tricks and all that stuff. But in terms of my own DJing style, I'm just a party rocker, from front to back. So although I'm a hip hop DJ first and foremost, when I DJ out, I'm always just party rocking and mixing. I like to have a clean style, I like to do a lot of blends, and I like to go across all kinds of genres. So whether it's old stuff from disco and soul, Motown, to 80s, 90s, to classic hip hop, to newer stuff like trap or even house music, I like to just go across all boundaries, all genres, and just kind of mix and rock the party. My philosophy when I'm digging for music is I'm always thinking about, one of two things. Is it something I like personally that I want to listen to, or is it something I will use as a DJ and spin out? So, for me personally, it's stuff that, I like to groove to, or really, the most important thing for me is, can I listen to it in my car? That for my own personal music, I have to be able to listen to it in my car, and it has to make sense in my car. That's, I think, the best place to listen to music. As a DJ, I want something that's gonna work on kind of the dance floor or in a party situation. Is it gonna get people hyped? Is it gonna get people to sing along? Does it have a catchy hook? Is it something that's gonna be memorable? Does it have a groove that makes people wanna move? And those are all kinds of things I look for in music as a DJ when I'm digging. I think the major steps to overcome, to evolve as a DJ is always finding the time to practice for me, and always trying to get better skill-wise. I do consider myself more of a mixed DJ, but I'm definitely a fan of turntablism, so practicing different tricks and scratches and things like that is always something that's important to me. I think just always find time to practice and evolve and think about DJing, and really just trying to push what you're doing as a DJ, whether it's stylistically, technically, or even the music you're playing, is something that is what I'm always trying to overcome. Always trying to push what I'm doing with the sounds that I'm doing. I mean, for me, especially like after all these years, DJing is something I want to be passionate about. In order to do that, I only try to do gigs that these days are going to be fun. So for me, I no longer look at DJing as a source of income, and that's kind of funny to say, but I'm no longer taking the gigs just to do it for the money. And those are the times when sometimes I find myself doing stuff that I'm not proud of, or playing music I'm not happy about, and that's when DJing doesn't become fun. These days with the things that I do and the choices that I make, it's something that I get to do what I want to do as a DJ. I get to play the music that I want to play as a DJ, and that makes it fun. And I bring the crowds that appreciate that, rather than DJ at some place where I have to play one top 40 hit after another. So I think for me, in order to stay passionate about it, is to continue doing what I want to do on the terms that I want to do in the way that I want to do it. I mean, current projects I work on, the two main things I do these days is the Solution with DJ Low-Key, and I love doing that because it's a party we do every Friday. It keeps me DJing regularly and in touch with what's going on in music, and as a DJ have a regular night every Friday night where I can do what I want to do. We have a crowd that embraces that. you know, I'm really fortunate to be a part of that. So the solution is definitely something, you know, I'm working on always. And then on top of that, the other thing I do is, you know, I work as the DJ for the reminders, and, you know, I try to, you know, the reminders are always working on stuff and doing shows, and I just try to support them and be much part of their show as I can. And that's between those two things, the solution and the reminders, that's really kind of what keeps me busy. Hopefully, you know, I'll work on some of my own other stuff, including like mixtapes, and I always mess around with beats and stuff like that. But the two main things I focus on as a DJ right now is the solution and trying to work and help support the reminders. Tips for upcoming DJs, or tips for DJs, I would just say, you know, learn about as much as you can about DJing. Never stop learning, but then eventually try and, you know, just do you and do what you want to do and what makes you happy. You know, there's all kinds of DJing, there's all kinds of genres of DJing. We live in a crazy world where a lot of those lines get blurred, and it's easy to get caught up in the mix of different music and different trends, you know. And I think you just need to stick to what you want to do as a DJ and not worry about what anyone else is doing.